That's much.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 29, season 2 of Red Wings Rant, where tirades and impassioned pleas about your Detroit Red Wings finally have a home. Mike, like we just said, we're going to improvise this episode. There's no notes, but we know what happened the other day. We won.
Yeah, we did.
Let's talk about that victory, and maybe we can talk about, I sent you a text earlier about some controversies in the NHL, so we can go that route. Yeah, and of course, if you guys have questions, that would really help since we didn't take any notes for this episode. But hey, it just helps us to roll this out as quickly as possible, right? Yeah. I mean, personally, not for viewers or anybody else, just our own personal lives. It works better to just hit go. All right. Mike, we got some business to take care of. So we should...
I thought we were just doing a 30-minute dance party. Well,
that'd be fun.
I guess not. You know why, Matt? Because the Macho Madness, is upon us. The biggest tournament is finally here. Well, I guess March's biggest tournament. Not the biggest tournament. That's like, Stanley Cup. But anyway, so we don't know who's going to be cutting down the nets at the end. But we do know there's going to be no shortage of Macho Madness. Yeah. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. It's true. Go ahead and Google it. Top-rated sportsbook app. Come on, DraftKings. Yes, see? Google wins once again. It's putting new customers in the center of the action. Old customers, your old hat, you're out. So, new customers, bet $4 on any underdog. That's right. Win $256 if they win. Oh, I thought I could just bet the underdogs. So, it's that simple. Turn $4 into $256. Matt, that's like a seventh of your stimulus check if you're poor like me. And you get 64 to 1 odds. Every dollar you bet could turn into $64. So pick one of many select college basketball underdogs for your shot. Bang! At winning $256. All it takes is a $4 bet.
Oh, there's no better way to put your college basketball knowledge to the test than put your money where your mouth is with DraftKings Sportsbook. So, Mike, this is the line where I'm supposed to start. Don't worry if college basketball isn't for you. DraftKings Sportsbook offers great odds and promotions on golf, hockey, and so much more. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable, so you can deposit and withdraw your funds at your convenience whenever you score. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code THPN when you sign up to turn $4 into $256 if the underdog you're choosing pulls up the upset. That's code THPN to turn $4 into $256 for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. New Jersey, Indiana, or Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or in Indiana 1-800-9-WITH-IT. All right.
Beautiful.
So I started laughing. All right, DraftKings, tune out because we're about to. All right. Hopefully they tuned out. All right. I thought when you were saying you were Googling DraftKings or the top-rated sportsbook app, I thought you were about to say scroll.
No, not the case.
Keep scrolling until you find the headline. All right.
Page 2, page 3.
Scroll. Oh. Hey, brothers in discussion.
Hey, man, we got to go really deep to find that link.
Oh, no. Right. Wait,
What's
I'm missing all of your fun quips and stuff. I just knocked out my headphones.
Oh, right. No. Matt.
Mike, go ahead.
Well, we do have hockey to discuss. And I texted you and our dear father, and all I said was, holy, what a goal. Because Dylan Larkin made play of the season. Matt, maybe the entire NHL season, not even just the Detroit season. With his end-to-end play, his backdrop pass to Fabry, who, Matt, dropping a pigeon.
No!
Get out of here, pigeon face. It's not your turn.
Just keep talking.
Damn it, pigeon. Get the hell out of here. Nobody wants to see a pigeon. We want to see a bird of a different color. That red wing bird. Yeah. Flapping those big old red wings and blowing that hurricane right out of the water.
So you were talking about that Larkin play?
Yeah, I was also doing a bit about pigeons, so I'm glad that that's over.
I was here the whole time. It's just the camera got knocked out.
Fabry had a hell of a game, Matt. He was literally rubbing elbows with the best the Red Wings have to offer. He got to be on the coattails of Larkin's incredible end-to-end play. And on a near goal by Carolina, where Fabry almost laid over the puck and gave up a penalty shot, he turned and found out that Bernier was covering the puck and Fabry's butt. And Fabry didn't give up a penalty shot. So Fabry's like, all right. Except that he was laying on his side on the ice. So it was more like this. All right. Matt, heck of a day for Mr. Coattails himself. Your thoughts on the juggernaut that is the Red Wings?
Well, I think it's my responsibility since I gave Jonathan.
Don't bring us back down to earth. Don't do it, Matt. Let me live. Let me live in the clouds.
No, I'm gonna have to jump my way into them. Since I was guilty of giving Bernier a B in my midseason grades, and we've gotten some pushback, quite a bit. Mike, you gave me pushback, so there's pushback coming from the listeners. There's pushback coming from you. Look, I gave my argument. I said, surely he is a top 2 Red Wing on this team. Jesus Christ.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Was that? Yeah, right. Mike's dipping into was that Screwball peanut butter whiskey? A full
it's
bottle?
It's Irish whiskey.
Oh.
Well,
all right.
I don't know.
If you're listening to the podcast, it was Mike just took a huge swig of Jameson. If you're watching it on YouTube, you saw what Mike's drinking. I'm drinking kombucha, so I'm definitely not playing along.
Wow.
Anyway, where I was going with this is that Jonathan Bernier played another hell of a game. I still think I'm not gonna go into my midseason grades and change them. But it's I think it's enough to say that a B is fine saying like he's one of the best Red Wings on this team. But if you compared his statistics across the league, he's not going to win an award. It's just surely like he's doing fantastic. All right. You're right. You know what? We were here to celebrate the victory and I'm bringing us down. Let me back up. What I wanted to say was Bernier had another amazing game.
Yeah.
And if we just looked at the 5-on-5 numbers, the one thing I'm such a stickler about is the goals saved above expected. So, of course, 5-on-5, he gives up 1 goal, and the expected goals is 1.41. So, bingo, bango. Now, Mike, this is the part that my jaw dropped to the ground, right? Do you want to take a guess?
Yes.
We're not including the power play, right? Where Adam Erne got 2 goals, okay? So this is just 5-on-5. Would you like to
what's up with all these power play goals, by the way? I do want to take a stab at...
Take a stab at who led the team in individual expected goals. So, of course, this might be the person from a 5-on-5 perspective, not power play. So I don't want you to, I don't want anybody to be swayed just by the Adam Erne goals, because, of course, he winds up with 2. Well, this would be the person most likely to score 5-on-5 because they're putting the best looking shots on net. So I'm having some fun with this.
Matt, give me the little brother himself, Evgeny Svechnikov.
Mike, at 12 minutes and 22 seconds of ice time, okay? And this is according to Natural Stat Trick. Individual expected goals, the leader on the team, was Adam fucking Erne. Mike, I gave him a hard time all night last night going, man, he really was letting the pucks bounce off his teeth like good old Chris Draper. But Mike, he was a standout on 5-on-5 where it's not even counting the 2 power play goals that he had. Like the individual expected goals, again, for anybody who's not familiar, is not that expected goals that measures when you're on the ice. It's what you as an individual are contributing to your line. So
Absolutely.
it's just like, holy shit, in 12 minutes of ice time. And this isn't something where we're like, oh, let's see who had the most per 60. No, he still destroyed the rest of the team. Mike, second place, 0.22 individual expected goals. Adam Erne was at 0.52. So he more than doubled the second place guy. You'd have to add up number 2, 3, and 4 to get up to Adam Erne's performance. It's just
Pretty good.
It's 5 individual Corsi 4 chances. So again, not just the Corsi 4 like we usually talk about, where you're on ice, so everybody that's on the team counts towards your Corsi 4, or everybody that's on the ice with you counts towards that. It's his individual efforts. So of course that also means he led the team in that regard as well in 12 minutes of ice time. Incredible performance from Adam Erne. And it's one of those things where I think that the most easy thing to do is just to point out, like, yeah, Adam Erne scored 2 goals, but it was more about the Zadina pass and the Larkin play for his second goal. But no, Mike, all the credit in the world has to go to Adam Erne. He had a great performance in that last game. Whether you just want to look at the fact that he's finishing power play goals, we know that we struggle with that. So obviously you pat him on the back for being able to finish. But 5-on-5, Adam Erne brought it.
It was an impressive display. I don't think there's really much to debate there. The only thing I was going to ask you, Matt, is Mr. Erne was on the ice for about 19 minutes. Pretty long time. I mean, he's up there with our boys Darren, Dylan, the Dirty D's, if you will. Matt, who are his line mates the rest of that night?
His line mates were, we have officially from Natural Stat Trick, Luke Glendenning and Darren Helm ate up the most ice time with Adam Erne when it was 5-on-5. They had 8 minutes and 43 seconds together, and it does get pretty dicey with Natural Stat Trick because it's just the line changes mix it all up. But there's the majority of play for Mr. Erne.
Huh. Well,
where were you going with that? Did I ruin your?
No, you didn't. I must have just miswatched because I was pretty impressed with my boy Rasmussen, who didn't completely embarrass himself. He actually had to play shorthanded for like 9 seconds, man. It was a terrifying 9 seconds, but he had a couple plays where he actually used his big boy body to control the play a few times. And I know in this town we like seeing big boys. I think that's part of the reason we're so disheartened when our boy Mantha is not quite playing up to snuff. The way we know he can. But I mean, there was so many standouts. Hronek had a heck of a game. It seemed like a lot of the guys were upset and they were up all night reading the Red Wings Rant, Red Wing grades and wanted to undo all your hard work on those, Matt. I was pretty proud of the defense. There weren't too many of those plays where we were just giving up, the peewee goals where all 4 or 5 guys are looking left or right and we just leave somebody wide open to come up the wing and get a free one-timer.
Yeah.
So I think it definitely helped contribute to Bernier's strong night, especially on 5-on-5 play for sure. But yeah, our skilled guys really shown. And then I don't know if you want to put Erne in our skilled guy group. I don't know if I'd put him under that circus tent, but it was really encouraging, Matt. It was really encouraging when the Red Wings are playing well against Tampa Bay and they're playing well against the Hurricanes. I
tweeted out, I don't know how I stumbled onto the timeline where Adam Erne is Leon Draisaitl. And of course, you know what's funny? I can't even have fun, right? We can't even have fun on Twitter for a minute because obviously Erne scores 2 power play goals. I'm having fun, and somebody had to chime in and go, "Oh, it's more like Thomas Holmstrom." It's like, Jesus Christ. All right. Yeah, Thomas Holmstrom, Mr. 2 goals a night. That's right. I get it. They even brought up during the game the last player to get 3 power play goals in one night for the Red Wings was Thomas Holmstrom. But I mean, Come on, is that really what we're gonna do? Somebody scores 2 goals and we're gonna go to Thomas Holmstrom. Great career, fantastic career. Obviously, he's a legend in Detroit. But I mean, come on, we know what game I was playing. I mean, we're talking. Come on. We're talking one of the best finishers in the NHL right now. All right.
If you're gonna play, like, sit on the bar and let's do some big fish, tall tales. Let's do some Paul Bunyans. Why don't you do the Holmstrom Paul Bunyan story when there's the Draisaitl story on the? I don't know, man. I don't know where people are coming from, but it's fun. It makes me want to just tune in for when the Red Wings are playing people at the top of the standings. It's fun to just have something nice to say about the Red Wings, which we don't always get to do. We've had a little bit of a trend, right? What did you have? You said 5 out of a possible 10 points, and pretty tough stretch for us.
Right. I mean, essentially what we're talking here, Mike, I want to come back to, I asked you a week and a half ago, I think. It was our Be the GM. What would you take for the rest of the season? And at that time, it was right before this started. I asked you if you wanted to see Anthony Mantha, lead the team in points as a runaway. Did you want to see Zadina go for like a point per game kind of thing? And one of the other ones I threw out there was, do you want to see the Red Wings go to 500? Finish the season at 500. Not finish their record at 500, but the rest of the games they'd get half the points that they were expected or could have gotten.
I don't really need to see us win, but gosh, we talk about it, I think every other episode, about building good habits. So at least we got to see a few of those good habits, and a few of the guys are going to be here for a while contributing. But I was just going to bring up, Matt, as my favorite time of the year, it's get to make those moves. Yeah. Get to see Stevie Y trade those rentals for draft picks. Matt, we're kind of perfectly hitting our stride where we're not winning a lot of games. We are winning a couple games. And the guys who are kind of on the block are starting to contribute, with one exception, which has got me very suspicious, Matt. If you kind of get the old, white china out and look at those tea leaves. Bobby Ryan hurt all of a sudden. We've seen that story before. The guy you're going to put on the block, Rodney Dangerfield, Caddyshack. Oh, my arm! And you just, let him sit down for a couple weeks until we figure out a deal.
Can I just say the physical acting when Rodney did that? I mean, it looked like his arm was an action figure that is just one peg connected into his shoulder, and he can spin it all the way around. That was Caddyshack, right? But Jesus. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. You can accuse me of being a sensationalist, if you will. But is there a little merit to my point?
Absolutely. I mean, when Jack Eichel's like a healthy scratch, what was that? That was twice, I think, in the last month. People, turned on the sirens, put out the signals, and try to get that Reddit and Twitter conversation going. I like to think we're a higher class Twitter account, that we just don't jump on that. But some of our friends have jumped on that train. But I for the podcast, absolutely. Let's talk about it, because I think we knew from the beginning of the year that Bobby Ryan was going to be on the old trade block and was going to be heading out. And we even talked about when he heard from Steve Yzerman, I trust Steve. Is that what that meant? Was it about Steve telling him, look, you can come here, you'll get top 6 minutes, you'll be able to show off, and it might put you in a better situation by the trade deadline? All those conversations have happened on the show. So I feel like there's a continuation of this thought.
Well,
or a question?
I do have a question for you. So on a scale of 1 to one of my favorite trades, when the Red Wings threw out Paul Coffey for a beloved number 14. And we went on to dominate for like, I don't know, half a decade. Matt, I'm going to give you 4 names. All right. I want you to score it on a scale of 1 to 77. 77 being the most likely that it's going to happen. I'm going to give you 4 guys. Are you buckled in?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Matt, this is the likelihood of them getting traded. You can also give a tweet length follow-up if you wish. Matt, Christian Jews.
How bad is it? How long do I get to think about this in my noggin here? Because that's bad. That's bad podcasting. Just to sit here with that air while I think. All right. It was 77. So who can do that math for me? What is that? 30, 8, 39, somewhere in there, right? 38 and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I don't see a lot what he's going to be offering or what other teams are going to see. I mean, the names that have been bantied about are Mark Stahl, even though Juice has had a better season than Mark Stahl. I think we'd all agree with that on the eyeball test, and the stats say so. But I just don't know if I don't know, like from a marketing perspective, if that name is going to be out there for trades. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not juicy enough for trade talk, and that's where you see the Elliot Friedmans putting out there who's at the top of the trade block. So if I backed up and said, should a team go for Juice? Yes. I just don't see it happening.
All right, that was like a Twitter feed.
Ah, crap,
that was way too many tweets, Matt. You just got banned. You had to press the delete. You were at like negative 85 characters on that one. Okay.
Right, so take away Matt, the last
name number 2. Yeah, we missed. Nobody read what else he said. It just kind of trailed off. Christian Juice it's gone. All right.
38 and a half.
Matt, name number 2. Here we go. Jonathan Bernier.
Oh, let's put a 70 on there. I think
that's a pretty strong likelihood, Matt. Let's hear that tweet length defense of that number.
Defending him leaving. I mean, yeah, this is an easy contract to eat up. There's been issues with goaltenders staying healthy across the league. I think this is the name that definitely leaves. There's a tweet.
All right.
Boom.
Boom. Good
Hashtag,
tweet, man.
Let's go Red Wings.
Hashtag Let's Go Red Wings / Matt Tweets / Red Wings Rant. Hashtag Darren McCarty. What's up? All right, Matt, I got another name for you. Here we go. Bobby Ryan.
I'm gonna say 60 out of 77. And the reason being is I know what you're saying about the injuries, and that usually means that they're out the door, and I'm gonna be eating crow when he gets traded right when we finish out the podcast. But I am worried about that injury. I think it could be legit, and I think it could hurt the chances of him heading out. And I think if you take a look at like my midseason grade, oh shoot, I'm done. Check out the link to my midseason grades for more on Bobby Ryan's season. How's that? That's my tweet thread. There's more to talk about with Bobby Ryan. If I may, his defensive statistics and analytics say that he is not having a great season, and when he's on the ice, he is hurting the team more than he is helping. I know the eyeball test at the beginning of the season made it look like he was gonna lead the league in goals. That's for those first couple of games. Yeah. But take another look at those expected goals numbers. I mean, everybody on the team struggles, right, to get over the hump, to be more effective on 5-on-5 than less effective. But I don't know, with a team that is focused on limiting expected goals against, you want a number that's as high as Bobby Ryan's on your team. But the salary's there. So if you can make it work to where you're putting him on the ice on your third or fourth line and you're managing that, you do have a solid goal scorer and that skill level that's out there. So I'm just saying I just said it's a 60 that he's leaving, but those are the things that are pulling me back from it being a 77.
We requested a tweet. We got a full live journal entry. That was beautiful.
I requested more time. I believe
judges,
if we check back,
we did not grant that. All of that is off the record. All right, Matt, last name for you. This is the most controversial name, Matt. There's still the whispers out there, especially with can
I say it before
some sexy names available
before you say the name?
Matt. No, you may not. Anthony Mantha.
All right. Out of 77, I'm going to say 10. Only because I think everybody should be on the trade block. I think that is a common theme in our shows. I hope that everybody sees why Anthony Mantha is a guy that should always be on the trade block. Or I shouldn't say that. Why he's a good name to have on the trade block right now, like why it makes sense is there's still the upside that we could win out in whatever those trade conversations are. And we've seen quite a few dips. I mean, the highs, Mike, the peaks in his game are fantastic. The dips are lengthy and they hurt and they make my tummy turn. I don't like the dips. And I think right now is the time to get rid of them. See, I did it again. I don't need to get rid of him, but if he's on the trade market, this is when you're going to get the juicier trades is now at his age, because he's just going to go up and in a couple of years it's downhill. So again, I broke the tweet rule, but it had all of this was relevant. I can't just throw a number out there and look like an a-hole and somebody posts it on Reddit and says, look at this a-hole. He said Anthony Mantha should get traded, even though gave it a 10 out of 77.
I'll say, Matt, of those four names, I think every year I get excited for the trade deadline, and then it usually underwhelms because the GMs are a lot more responsible than you and I are playing NHL 21. I don't see them moving Mantha, especially now. Like you'd have to get just an absolute home run offer, and you'd be taking pennies on the dollar. For that kind of trade, he'd have to be productive to a point where you'd be excited about what the other team is offering. So I don't think we're going to get that. Bernier, I think Bernier trading him would be an absolute nightmare because we know what the rest of the goaltender options are for this team. It would not even be competitive hockey. I think it would be terrifying prospect to think of the Red Wings giving up, 6, 7, 8 goals a night. I think it would be really rough without the NHL MVP back there. Juice, I don't think that stirs the pot enough. I don't know where that idea really came from. But Bobby Ryan, Matt, 1 out of 77. Based on that fake boo-boo, I'm giving it a 77. I guarantee he's not going to be a Red Wing after the deadline.
So right now, you're saying that we are never going to see Bobby Ryan in a Red Wings jersey again?
I mean, I wouldn't play him because I don't think we're going to be making a whole lot of moves. The only, the buyers are going to be looking for cheap deals, and they're going to be looking for underwhelming deals. We never get the big sexies at the deadline anymore, especially this year with everybody being strapped for cash. A lot of the good teams being strapped for cash. So it's just going to be who wants to put out a 4th round offer instead of a 5th round offer for Bobby Ryan. So that's what it's going to come down to, I think.
And I there's a lot of merit to trading these guys earlier. We talked about it in earlier episodes, and I've heard it go the other way on other hockey podcasts, but getting these guys in there, getting them through whatever COVID protocol you need to, especially if they're going up to the north, I figure there's going to be a lot of garbage to sift through. But if this is a trade deadline move, that's April 12th that we are going to be without Monsieur Bobby Ryan. I don't know why I went that route. I did. I chose it. I want to pull it back. It's too late. It's out there on the internet. But April 12th, Mike, is how long we would be without Bob. So I'm going to say I think we are still going to see Bob. I think this injury is legit. Mike, if I could, the thing that I like the most about Bobby Ryan coming out, and we both gave him pretty high scores on him heading out the door, right?
Yeah.
Svechnikov is the boy who comes in to replace him. So all of our bitching last episode, and Darren McCarty telling us just hang on, wait till the trade deadline, and then he'll be back. I still say my initial argument of just give us something to cheer for and stop pulling Svechnikov out. There's a lot of merit to that argument, but right when Bobby Ryan came out, and if it is about trading him, we saw Svechnikov come right back in. So there is a spot for him. It's just they're right now showcasing some of the guys that they could send out. So I kind of like that. It made me feel a little bit better. Now, Mike, we did say a hard stop at 30 minutes. We are at 31 minutes today. There was another topic I wanted to discuss with you real quick. Maybe 5 minutes. Sorry. Mike, I saw this argument online. Are you okay? Let's just we saw an injury and a major penalty with charging yesterday. Mike, should the severity of an injury affect a player's penalty, fine, or suspension? And you could take this across all sports. So, I guess it's more relevant in hockey because you're actually hitting people.
Wow. So does that mean that what they'd be doing is waiting to give out sentencing to see how the player feels?
If it was about like a suspension, I'd say there's enough time. They usually don't dole out the suspensions or fines, that night. I would say with the penalties, you're pretty much looking at like, does the guy get up off the ice kind of thing.
Oh, gosh. Well, I just think it's setting a pretty scary precedent. Especially two things popped into mind. One was soccer, where, the guys will feign death upon any kind of body contact. So I don't know if we're going to be giving out kind of penalties and stuff like that. Or, looking at it in hindsight and, giving out, penalties or suspensions. The other one was if you accidentally injure a guy and he's out, like he ruptures an Achilles or, busts his MCL, something like that. Are you also going to be out for 12 to 18 months? Am I thinking of this the wrong way, Matt?
I wouldn't say that it would need to be like eye for an eye, but the arguments I've heard bring it back to like manslaughter, right? Like in real life, you hit somebody with your car, you're not going to jail for the rest of your life or prison. But if you hit somebody with your car and they die, you're going to prison for a lot longer than you would have. And reason being is because there's so many variables involved with driving a car. We want people to be safer. And sometimes that's like, and I'll bring it back to hockey. If you punish somebody based on the severity of said injury or potential injury, you're essentially preventing maybe not that player, but another player whose intent to injure on their hit. It'll stop them. It'll prevent them from making that decision. So it's one of those things where the wrong person might get punished, but it could prevent another person from trying to injure later on. It's one of those things like that's where you start drawing the parallels with real life and that difference between hitting somebody with your car and killing someone and not. We have that precedent already in real life. Manslaughter is a real thing. You don't get charged with murder, but you get severely punished for manslaughter. And I think some people might roll their eyes, but
was there a hit I missed in the NHL that brought this up?
Yes. So I guess it was a charge, and people initially were arguing should it even be a charge. And I think if you see the replays, like this isn't where I really wanted the conversation to go, but I like taking this from the general sense. But if you see the charge, guy races across the ice to finish a hit, so it's absolutely a charge. But I guess, yeah, that I wanted to do this 5 minutes. We're at the 5 minute mark. Maybe we could go a little bit deeper into this, but I mean, that's where my head's at, because there's so many variables we can't control, that if it is about preventing the hit or the intent to injure on maybe a hit in the future, if that prevents that because we've suspended a guy a little bit longer who maybe wasn't intending to injure, but he accidentally put a guy out for months. I mean, that's I'm okay with that. There it is. There's my answer. I'm going to say adjusting suspensions, fines based on injuries, because you can't really measure for intent to injure, because, right, everybody would just say, no, I wasn't trying to kill him or injure him. Unless it's, Todd Bertuzzi. I'm sure we all saw what was going on there. But I guess that's kind of where my head's at. And I saw this argument everywhere. I saw it even in the Hockey Podcast Network threads. And I guess I saw, from your perspective that it is a slippery slope. But in the long run, maybe that's the slippery slope we need to decide on before we go the other way and we say, well, we're not going to severely punish because it could have been an accident. And then because we don't know everything about the human body, one of those accidents could result in death.
It's tough because you kind of opened it up to, all the major sports. Hockey and football are the ones where and baseball to an extent, but you don't really see bat attacks. But hockey and football regularly have, weaponized equipment, whether it's a hockey stick, momentum, from hockey, it's harder to stop. And then football, the helmet. I know that basketball has definitely opened up like flagrant fouls. You used to have to commit assault like in the 70s and 80s. And now if the offensive player is shooting a 3-pointer and you get your feet under their feet when they're trying to land, that's a flagrant foul because you could potentially end a guy's season if he steps on you, tweaks a knee or an Achilles and they're out. As far as hockey goes, man, it's so tough because I kind of feel like, you put a cock in the cockfight. I don't know what you thought was going to happen. But basketball players are in shorts, and they're flying through the air, so you can kind of, it's a different animal. But I mean, hockey, you put hockey pads on a cock and throw it in a cock ring. I don't know what you thought was going to happen for some of those injuries, but
yeah.
As far as adjusting the severity of the penalty, that's kind of where we get to see a commissioner weigh in and kind of be creative, laying down the judgment. I guess I don't think that we're prepared to make a blanket statement where, well, if you hurt a guy's forearm, that's like a game. But if you hurt his, you give him a spank on the bottom, that's maybe like 2 games. But if you injure his knee, then it's like we're commodifying body parts, like we're a butcher. So depending on what kind of meat you injure.
And there is some of that already, even just with the penalties. So I guess there's some precedent to it. And then there's also, somebody brought up today, I saw the high stickings, and if somebody's bleeding, it goes from a minor to a double minor. It's 4 minutes. So there's some precedent in the NHL already, but I guess if, are these guys really done? Are they injured? Are they out for the night if their lip's bleeding from a high stick? No. But I guess it is, again, I think you're right. I think it is a slippery slope. And there's a much bigger conversation, but now we're almost at 40 minutes. We said 30 minutes. So let's put a pin in it. Let's think about this over the next few days. We'll come back to it. And everybody make sure you check out the Brothers in Discussion, our pro wrestling show, because we have a huge announcement if you guys are wrestling fans tomorrow. I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah.
So far, Mike.
Man, who's that Pokemon? We got to get it in before. We missed it like 4 episodes in a row. Here we go. Matt, are you ready for who's that Pokemon? Yeah, thanks, Jeff Blashill. Matt, it's going to be read by Paul Woods. I'm not even going to attempt to ask you. Matt, are you ready for Paul Woods to read who's that Pokemon?
Shoot it, go.
All right, Matt, it's your old buddy Paul Woods here, and very excited to read who's that Pokemon. Matt, here we go. It's by head coach Jeff Blashill. We've missed him on a few episodes. So here we go. Here's the quote. I think Blake's been really, really good. Really, really good in that bumper spot. He's done a really good job of being a relief of pressure when needed and that being at the net when he's not. End quote.
Adam Erne.
Matt gets it on the first guess. My God, does he know his Pokemon? Matt, that's another exciting addition. Did I?
He said his position. He's the bumper.
Oh, I should have said in the blank spot. You never would have got it, man.
All right. That was nice and easy. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy the Dallas series because we'll be back to talk about it. All right.
The bumper spot was like me saying he's kind of like an electric yellow mouse with red cheeks. Son of a gun.
Pikachu.
Oh, man. I thought I tricked him. Bye.